Hello Kako, I'm Chef Gooch and you're watching another episode of KTA Kitchens. Today we're going to be making a personal favorite of mine. It's a lemon tri-tip, PaIai, and tomato. So let's take a look at our ingredients. What we got here is we have our 2 pounds of local tri-tip, 6 pieces of lemons that have been juiced, 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, a tablespoon of fresh cracked pepper, 6 cloves of garlic which are going to be minced, 6 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 Hawaiian chili pepper that's also going to be minced. So for the second part of our recipe here, what we've got is we've got our 1 pound of Roma tomatoes that have been sliced, or you can use whatever tomato is freshest and most in season. We have our 1 bunch of watercress that's been picked. We have our half an onion that's been thinly sliced, our 2 cloves of garlic that are going to be minced, 3 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, 4 tablespoons of olive oil. We've got about 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, a half teaspoon of fresh cracked pepper, right here, a pinch of red pepper flakes, and our half bunch of green onions that's been thinly sliced. Finally, we've got our PaIai or poi that's been set up in the refrigerator overnight so it gets hard, and we've got about 1 cup or so of tapioca or potato flour. So let's get our marinade ready. So in this bowl here, we have our meat. Now the recipe calls for tri-tip, but you can use whatever's around, whatever's good for grilling or broiling, whatever it is that you choose. And some other really great substitutions is like skirt, flank, ribeye is a winner. So what we got is our meat. We also got our garlic, we got our chili peppers, we're going to add our lemon juice, our salt, fresh cracked pepper, and we're going to add our olive oil. Oil is a key ingredient in your marinades because what happens is that garlic, herbs, and spices, they all contain natural essential oils. Oil likes oil. So when you put it together, it helps to disperse the flavors evenly. Everything becomes a lot more homogeneous, which is what you want. So once you got it inside, give it a toss. Go ahead and taste it if you want. You got salty, spicy, you got the garlic, you got earthy, funky. It kind of all comes together that way. It's good. We'll let it hang out for a couple hours and we'll come right back to it. First, what we're going to do is we're going to sear our meat. You can grill it, broil it, saute it. Right here, we're going to pan fry it. I got a heavy skillet actually right now. Got it ripping hot. Added my olive oil in. Now you can always tell, that a pan is hot in a couple ways here. When you add your oil, if your pan is too cold, it's just going to hit the pan and not move around. You kind of want to see it shimmer. If you look at the top of the oil right now, it's starting to move and go around like that. That's shimmering. So your oil is getting up to temperature. When it starts to throw off like little wisps of smoke, not smoking and billowing and setting off fire alarms, but just like little wisps of smoke, you know you're good to go. You always want a hot pan. A hot pan is key. Hot pan is what sets it all off. So once we got our pan ripping hot, we can go ahead, add our marinated meat. Don't crowd your pan now. If only 3 pieces fit, then only 3 pieces fit. Now some people make the mistake of putting your product in a fry pan and shaking it all around. No. When it comes to like steaks like that, you want a really ripping hot pan. You want to leave it alone. You want to let it get happy. What's happening right now is you got the proteins, you got amino acids, you got all this good stuff kind of cooking away, changing color, browning. That's the stuff you want. You can cook your steak any way you like it. Personally, I like mine mid-rare. There you go, we got some nice color. So let's build our dressing. So what we got here in this bowl is we've got our Roma tomatoes, our pepper flakes, sliced onions, minced garlic, some fresh cracked pepper. Fresh cracked pepper is really important. Sherry vinegar, olive oil, pinch more salt. The reason why we're going to make our dressing first is that the tomatoes in here, which are made up of like 95% water, are going to sit down. It's going to kind of marinate. The tomato water is going to draw out. It's going to create its own vinaigrette. like so. Taste it. Got heat. A little more salt. A little more salt. A little more shaving. That's the one. So let's let it hang off to the side now. We're gonna kind of finish up and build it. We got our pan back on again. We'll let that thing heat up. How hot? Ripping hot. Now we've got our PaIai. So, you guys ever gone luau? You got those little cups of poi. The end of the night, maybe you leave it out. Maybe you put it in the refrigerator by accident. The next day, you ever notice how it gets real PaIai? It gets hard, yeah? Well, one thing, you can reconstitute it and you can have poi again. Or you can do what we do and we slice it and we pan fry it. So it gets nice and crunchy and crisp on the outside and soft and hot on the inside. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do it PaIai. What PaIai is basically PaIai is what comes before poi. When you hand pound, when you cook iai kalo and you turn it into poi, what comes off of the board is PaIai. It's my personal favorite. I'll take PaIai over poi any day. So go ahead. Slice off a piece. And then what I like to do, so I like to dredge it real fast, lightly, in potato or tapioca starch. Just gonna give it a little coating. So once we get our pan ripping hot, like so, we can go ahead and add our PaIai. Turn the fire down just a little bit. So what we're going to be looking for here is we're going to just looking for a spring. You're actually going to see your PaIai, your poi. It's going to kind of lift and spring up a little bit. That's when we know when to flip it over. It's been on maybe about 4 minutes, maybe 5. And you can tell that it's ready by looking at the crust. Hear that? And you can also press it. I can push it and it'll go all the way through, so I know I'm good to go. Off the fire. Don't forget to season it right away. More salt. Fresh cracked pepper. All right. So we've got our tri-tip that's been resting. Slice up thin. We can take our PaIai. Go ahead and take our beef. Watercress. Press it up like so. So by this time, tomato has started to pull out some of the waters in it. Start to create its own dressing here. Put it off like so. You can use as much or as little as you like. You could put this all together in like a big bowl, serve it family style. You could dice up your PaIai or your poi like so. Just toss it in a bowl. Dump it in a nice bowl. Good to go. Okay. Just like that. Finish it off. Finish it off with a pinch more salt on top. So just like steak and potatoes, we've got steak and PaIai, watercress, tomato, and a cold beer. So, once again, mahalo for joining me. I'm Chef Gooch, and you're watching another episode of KTA Kitchens. Look forward to seeing you again. Ahui ho.